Being kind no longer guarantees respect. Not from friends, not from coworkers, not even from the people closest to you. You show up. You smile. You help. You stretch yourself thin trying to be there for everyone. And what happens? Messages go unanswered. Plans get canceled at the last moment. Your effort becomes expected, not appreciated. People step over you because they know you won't push back. The truth is uncomfortable, but necessary. Warmth without limits turns into weakness. Kindness without restraint makes you invisible. And when you are always available, you stop being valuable. If you want people to hesitate before disrespecting you, if you want to be taken seriously without begging for it, something has to change. You don't need to become cruel. You don't need to hurt anyone. You need to master emotional distance. The kind of controlled coldness that shifts power silently. The kind that makes people pause, rethink, and adjust how they treat you. Ignore this lesson and nothing changes. You remain easy to use, easy to forget, easy to dismiss. But if you apply what you're about to learn, your presence will feel heavier. Your silence will speak louder. Your restraint will demand respect without a single argument. In this video, you'll learn 7 calculated ways to detach emotionally, reclaim control, and earn the respect that was never freely given. This isn't about anger. It's about authority. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Become unpredictable. People don't respect what they can easily control. They respect what keeps them guessing. When you are predictable, people know exactly how to treat you. They know you will reply immediately. They know you will forgive without consequences. They know you will react the same way every single time. And because of that, they stop valuing you. You become safe, readable, manageable. That safety slowly turns into disrespect. Coldness begins with unpredictability. This doesn't mean playing childish games or acting fake. It means breaking the pattern people rely on to use you. Stop responding the way they expect. Stop being available on demand. Stop jumping every time someone calls your name. When people can no longer predict your reactions, your time, or your energy, their behavior changes. One day you are warm and cooperative. Another day you are distant and focused elsewhere. Sometimes you respond quickly. Sometimes you don't respond at all. Sometimes you are talkative. Other times you are quiet and reserved. Not because you're manipulating anyone, but because you are no longer performing for their comfort. You are protecting your value. Here's what happens psychologically. Uncertainty creates tension. Tension creates attention. When people don't know where they stand with you, they think about you more. They replay interactions. They question themselves. They become cautious. That caution is the first sign of respect. You've seen this dynamic before. It's why people obsess over those who respond inconsistently. It's why silence can feel louder than words. It's why uncertainty keeps people emotionally hooked. Now flip the dynamic. Stop being the one waiting. Become the one others wait for. Change your energy based on how you feel, not on what others expect. Speak when you choose. Withdraw when you choose. Show up selectively. When people can't figure you out, they stop trying to control you. And what can't be controlled is automatically respected. Become unpredictable, and watch how quickly the way people treat you begins to shift. Lesson 2. Speak less, command more. Most people talk too much, and that's exactly why they are ignored. They explain themselves endlessly. They justify every decision. They rush to fill silence because quiet makes them uncomfortable. But the more you speak, the less weight your words carry. When everything is said, nothing feels important. Coldness is learning to reduce your words while increasing their impact. Look at people who naturally command respect. They don't ramble. They don't beg to be understood. They speak calmly, briefly, and with intention. When they finish talking, the conversation stops. Their silence does more work than their voice ever could. Every word has power, but power is diluted through overuse. When you speak less, people lean in. They listen more closely. They remember what you said because you didn't waste their attention. Silence forces others to focus on you instead of tuning you out. Here's how this changes your presence. Stop over-explaining your choices. You don't owe anyone a long defense for decisions that don't harm them. A short statement is enough. Stop filling pauses with nervous chatter. Let quiet exist. Let others feel the need to fill it. Stop repeating yourself. Say it once. If they didn't listen, that's not your problem. There's a reason calm, quiet people dominate rooms without raising their voice. Their words are rare, so they matter. They observe before speaking. And when they finally speak, people stop what they're doing to listen. Cold people don't talk to prove themselves. They talk to communicate, then they stop. No backtracking. No apologies. No second guessing. Master this, and people will treat your voice like something valuable, not something disposable. Lesson 3: Detach from approval. The fastest way to lose respect is to need it. Most people are addicted to validation. They crave likes, replies, reassurance, and approval just to feel stable. They say yes when they want to say no. They agree even when they disagree. They shape themselves into whatever version they think will be accepted. And people can sense that hunger immediately. When you need approval, you become controllable. Coldness begins the moment you stop caring whether people like you or not. Not in a rude way. In a grounded way. You no longer check your phone every few minutes hoping for a response. You stop adjusting your behavior to make others comfortable. You stop chasing reactions. You become steady, unmoved, independent. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment people start offering it. Respect is never given to those who beg for it. It's given to those who clearly don't need it. Think about the people you respect most. They aren't desperate to be liked. They aren't easily guilt or emotionally manipulated. They don't change under pressure. Because of that, others treat them carefully. They know approval can't be used as leverage. You've seen this play out in real life. One person stays late, volunteers for everything, laughs at jokes they don't find funny, all to impress someone above them. Over time, people stop respecting them. Another person does their job well, sets boundaries, and leaves without seeking praise. That person becomes valuable. Detaching from approval means you stop asking for opinions you don't need. You stop apologizing for choices that don't require an apology. You accept compliments calmly without feeding on them. You listen to criticism only if it's useful, and discard it if it isn't. You don't defend your worth, because your worth doesn't depend on other people's reactions. When you truly internalize this, you become dangerous in the best way. Not because you are harsh, but because you are free. And free people are always respected. Lesson 4. Use absence as power. Being available does not make you valuable. It makes you replaceable. When you are always present, always reachable, always ready to help, people stop appreciating you. Your time becomes expected instead of respected. They assume you'll answer. They assume you'll show up. They assume you'll adjust your life around their needs. And the moment something is guaranteed, it loses value. Coldness is understanding the power of absence. When you are not always there, people notice. When you pull back, they feel the gap. And that gap forces reflection. Suddenly, they check in. They reach out. They adjust how they treat you because they realize your presence isn't automatic. Human psychology is simple here. Scarcity increases value. What is rare is protected. What is common is taken for granted. Your time is no different. If it's always available, it's treated cheaply. If it's limited, it becomes precious. This applies everywhere. In friendships, the person who constantly initiates and accommodates loses leverage. The one who has their own priorities, their own schedule, their own direction gains it. Not because they're playing games, but because their time genuinely matters to them. Using absence doesn't mean disappearing forever. It means choosing when to be present. Stop being the first to reach out every time. Stop attending everything just because you were invited. Stop being the default problem solver for everyone else's emergencies. Help when you decide to, not when it's expected. When you step back, people recalibrate. They start valuing your presence because they're no longer entitled to it. They show up on time. They communicate better. They treat your attention with care. Your time is the most valuable resource you own. Don't hand it out freely to people who haven't earned it. Pull back when needed. Focus on your own life. Let others feel the absence. Because people only respect what they're afraid of losing. Lesson 5. Guard your emotions. Your emotions are powerful, which is exactly why they should not be on display. The world encourages you to open up, to share everything you feel, to be emotionally transparent with everyone. And while vulnerability has its place, most people don't deserve access to your inner world. When you expose your emotions carelessly, you give others a map to your weaknesses. Coldness means emotional privacy. When people know what hurts you, they know how to control you. When they know what excites you, they know how to manipulate you. When they can read your face instantly, they know exactly where they stand. And familiarity removes fear. Fearless people don't respect you. Cold individuals don't react immediately. They observe first. They process privately. Then they respond with control. They don't raise their voice. They don't panic. They don't explain themselves emotionally. That restraint signals strength. You've seen this contrast before. Two people face conflict. One becomes defensive, emotional, reactive. The other remains calm, measured, and detached. When it's over, everyone instinctively respects the person who stayed composed. Emotional control communicates authority without effort. Guarding your emotions doesn't mean becoming numb. It means choosing when and with whom you show vulnerability. You don't vent to everyone. You don't collapse publicly. You don't let stress, anger, or frustration leak out in moments where it can be used against you. Take time before responding to criticism. Absorb it privately. Reply later with clarity, not impulse. Keep your struggles limited to those who have proven loyalty. Celebrate quietly. Suffer privately. Maintain a calm exterior even when pressure builds inside. People fear what they cannot shake. When your emotional state isn't easily disturbed, your presence feels solid. unmovable, controlled. Be difficult to read. Be slow to react. Be selective with your vulnerability. When your emotions are protected, your power is protected. Lesson 6. Let silence speak. Silence is uncomfortable for most people, and that discomfort is exactly where its power comes from. In conversations, people rush to fill every gap. They explain too much, defend too quickly, and talk themselves into weaker positions because quiet feels unbearable. But cold individuals understand something most never learn: silence controls the room. When you stay silent, people reveal themselves. They get nervous. They talk more than they plan to. They justify, confess, and expose their intentions without you saying a word. Silence creates pressure, and under pressure, people lose control. When someone accuses you, don't rush to defend yourself. Pause. Let them continue. Let them feel the weight of their own words. When someone asks a difficult question, take your time. Let the quiet stretch before you answer. When someone tries to provoke you, deny them the reaction they want. Stay still. Stay unreadable. Silence is interpreted as confidence. It signals that you don't need to rush, explain, or perform. It shows that you decide when a conversation moves forward and when it ends. People respect those who are comfortable with quiet because it suggests inner control. In arguments, stop trying to win with words. Say less. Let pauses do the work. Walk away if needed. Your restraint will disturb them more than any insult ever could. In meetings, observe before speaking. When you finally contribute, your words land heavier because people had to wait for them. Sometimes silence is the answer. Not every question deserves a response. Not every comment deserves engagement. When someone crosses a line, a calm look and quiet pause can communicate more than confrontation ever will. Silence is not weakness. It is dominance without effort. Those who master it decide what matters, what doesn't, and who gets access to their attention. Lesson 7. Protect your mystery. The less people know about you, the more carefully they treat you. Most people reveal everything. Their plans, their emotions, their struggles, their thoughts. They document their lives, explain every decision, and overshare with people who haven't earned that access. Once everything is known, there's nothing left to respect. Coldness is preserving mystery. Think about the individuals who naturally command attention. They aren't loud. They aren't desperate to be seen. They don't explain themselves constantly. You never know exactly what they're thinking or planning, and that uncertainty creates intrigue. People lean in because they can't fully read them. Mystery creates psychological distance. You can be present without being exposed. Friendly without being open. Close without being accessible. This balance keeps people curious and cautious at the same time. When you reveal everything, you become predictable. Predictability kills interest and invites judgment. When you hold back, people pay attention. They observe your actions instead of dissecting your words. They respect you because they can't easily categorize or dismiss you. Protecting your mystery means sharing selectively. Not every moment needs to be posted. Not every plan needs to be announced. Not every question deserves an answer. Sometimes, "I'd rather not say" is more powerful than a full explanation. When asked what you're doing, you don't need to give details. When asked about your personal life, you don't need to open every door. When someone probes too deeply, redirect calmly and keep moving. Vagueness is not dishonesty. It is protection. People are drawn to what they can't fully access. They gossip less about what they don't know. They judge less when information is limited. And they respect boundaries they cannot cross. Protect your mystery. Keep parts of yourself private. Let people wonder. The moment someone fully figures you out is the moment your edge disappears. Let me leave you with a final truth. There was someone I once knew who was always the kindest person in the room. Always smiling. Always helping. Always available. If anyone needed something, he showed up without hesitation. At first, people appreciated it. Then slowly, they began to expect it. Messages went unanswered. Plans were canceled without explanation. His effort became invisible, his time taken for granted. He noticed it, even if he didn't want to admit it. He gave more and received less. He adjusted his schedule for people who wouldn't adjust theirs for him. He stayed loyal to those who treated his presence as optional. Being warm wasn't earning him respect. It was making him easy to use. Eventually, something changed. He stopped explaining himself. He stopped responding immediately. He stopped smiling at people who showed him none in return. He didn't announce it. He didn't justify it. He simply became distant, controlled, and selective. He became cold. At first, people were confused. They asked questions. They whispered. They wondered what happened. But he didn't explain. He stayed consistent in his restraint. And within weeks, the shift was undeniable. People who ignored him started reaching out. Those who disrespected him became careful. Those who took him for granted suddenly valued his time. He didn't change who he was inside. He changed how much access people had to him. That is the power of controlled coldness. This was never about cruelty. It was about boundaries. Warmth without limits invites disrespect. Coldness with purpose creates strength. When you protect your energy, guard your emotions, limit your availability, and stop performing for approval, people adjust. They have no choice. You've learned 7 principles. Become unpredictable. Speak less. Detach from approval. Use absence wisely. Guard your emotions. Let silence do the work. Protect your mystery. These are not ideas meant to be admired. They are tools meant to be used. Most people will hear this and change nothing. They'll return to being overly available, emotionally exposed, and eager to please. And they'll keep getting the same results. But you're here because you know something has to shift. If you want respect, stop giving yourself away for free. Stop reacting. Stop explaining. Stop chasing validation. Let people feel the weight of your absence. Let them work to earn your time. Let your calm, your silence, and your restraint speak for you. The world no longer rewards excessive warmth. It rewards control. Become cold and watch respect appear.